Cool.
So, guys, everybody, this is Willie Chiao. I call him Big Willie. You got paused out for some reason. There
No,
you
there's
go.
an
You're
incoming
back.
call.
You're
There was an
back.
incoming call. My apologies.
No problem. So I call him Big Willie. I don't know why I came up with that, but you know, from the
I
very day
appreciate
we
it.
did orientation, you know, like you just have a great personality. You know, we hit it off. So Willie, you've been with us now, I think 7 years ish.
Yeah,
Range. I can't believe that.
yeah.
That's just
It's insane.
totally. Up in Orange County, and so I think what I'll do is, if you're cool with it, we'll just kind of let you maybe share out your background, and then we can just kind of let the conversation flow.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
So
hi everybody. My name is Willie. I started in the insurance business in 2009. 2009 is when I got my license. 2009 in March is when I got my license. And then I was working for a broker. Okay, I was working for a broker. He pretty much does what we would call the substandard market. But at the time, I didn't know. You know, I was just, going there to work. You know, he'd provide us leads. We would call and, try to sell policies. And then, 2 months in, and then I just realized, I was telling my wife, like, I can't do this. I was like, nah, I'm not going to do this. But I do like the industry. I do like insurance. I mean, I was looking into like, my friend was telling me to go to mortgage, and we know how that ended up. So I was like, well, mortgage is not so stable. So I like insurance, so I want to stick around. So while I was working there, I applied to a lot of places. I applied to like Liberty Mutual, I applied to like State Farm, and I applied to Farmers. And long story short, I thought of it. I go, well, maybe Farmers is probably the best fit, because State Farm, they said they're gonna recruit me, and then for like 6 months, and then I have to be like some agency member working underneath a guy. So I was like, well, maybe Farmers is probably the best fit for me. So I go, okay. Then I decided, so I joined them, I think in like June of 2009. Okay, well, you know what? Farmers seems to be like the best fit. I mean, I could hit the ground running. I could start building my own book. So I went that route, and that was 2009. And when I was there, I did very well. I mean, by year 2, I was like the #1 homeowner writer in our district. I think we have like 60 agents. So I was like, I was always, I was just, they were giving me awards for like 3 consecutive years. So I was pretty good. But it wasn't until 2013, I just decided, I realized I'm like close to going in for 4 years, and I joined them in 2009 of June. So by 2013, I contacted you guys, and I just decided, because it's not for me. I just realized that I was literally building a house on a land that I don't own. And I was like, wow, that is brutal. And keep in mind, all of this is just my experience of what I've seen. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's people that are happy or whatnot, but this is what I see. And I just, right there and then, I was like, man, I'm doing good now, but what if I don't do good? When I left the captive side, the real reason that I left is that I wasn't happy. And I think happiness is very important. I think it's crucial. I think it's just as important, if not, than making money. Yeah. I just wasn't happy. I'm like, they're giving me all these awards, sending me on these trips that I don't want to go to. I like our model better, profit share. Right? I like that better. I don't need you to send me somewhere, get me liquored up. I don't need that. Just let's share the dough. I like that more. So, you know, like I just wasn't happy. You know, I feel like, you know, I'm working my tail off, and there's so many uncertainties, and you're forcing me to push products that you know it's not even competitive. And I'm talking about the life products. And just like all of this is like, and I'm seeing people getting abused. It's like, oh man, there's got to be a better way. That's when I decided. I called Mike.
Yeah.
Mike
Yeah.
McKenzie.
Yep.
And then we started talking, and it was really funny. Remember I sent you the email. I was looking for a document. I was going through old emails, and I saw an email from Mike. It was the ISN application. And it's so funny. And I remember getting that application, and the same day, I signed it, and I email or fax it back to you guys. And I remember vividly because it was my birthday. I got the application on my birthday, and I sent it back. And you know, it's just that, why did I leave? I worked really hard, but the problem is, you know, business is always changing.
Yeah.
And you know, just offering one company and one product, it's a dying breed, you know. So I just feel like, wow, I have to change. First of all, I'm losing, because you have to understand, all the marketing that we do, we pay for that. You know, farmers do not help us in anything to, you know. So I feel like I'm spending all this money marketing, but I'm losing. You know, I'm working hard to pull in the policies, but I'm losing them pretty fast too. And you know, when people leave, it's like, hey, Willie, it's not you. You know, we like you, but your rates are just too high.
Yeah.
And come to think of it now, is that a lot of times it's not just about the rates. It's not about the money. It's just that sometimes when clients come up to you, maybe they just want options. They just want to see what you can do for them. Right. You know, but clearly, if it's always about money, then they don't need to come to you to begin with. You know, so I can't even give them that. You know, so it's like, well, I spoke to Mike, and I was really happy, and I wasn't really sure, you know, because you have to understand at the time, like, I have to give up something in order to come on board. And I remember you came up, and then we had lunch, and then, you know, you talked about it, and I was really excited. And that was 7 years ago.
Dude, I know, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
You know, I think,
yeah.
You know, I think it's interesting. I mean, because, you know, you talked about choices and price, right? I mean,
Yeah.
One of the challenges of being captive is the benefit of being captive, whether it's Farmers, Allstate, State Farm,
Yeah. Yeah.
American Family, whatever, is that everything's there for the agent, right? Meaning the district office is there, the technology is there.
Yeah.
And so you basically have to come in there and learn how to sell and service. Whereas once you made that jump to the independent side, you have to put all the pieces. Obviously, we try to help with that, but you have to put all those pieces together.
Yeah.
You know, and so, like you said, you know, you're giving up inning, because giving up something, which is, okay, you had a book of business in those 5 years, but now I'm going to start over, and then I got to do everything else while I'm starting over, and then I'm going to make
exactly. Exactly.
You know, and I usually try to
tell me to not to cut in, but I think it's probably the best decision I ever made in terms of career. It really is. And yeah, it's insane. I can't, you know, it just, looking back now, it's, yeah, you're absolutely right. And I, you know, like I still remember, you know, like on the phone, Mike was telling me like, hey, Willie, you got some money saved up, you know, because it seems like, you know, he's like telling me that I'm going to need it. And I was like, in my head, I was like, Mike, you don't understand. You know, I'm the top writer of homes. I'm going to hit this running. You don't understand. Sure enough, he was right. He was right, you know.
you know, there's no joke. Like, and I try. I think, you know,
Yeah.
I think I'm done every orientation right with every member since the day we ever
Yeah.
started.
Hmm.
And I'm pretty sure I said this to you when 7 years ago, but I usually say that first 3 months is complete hell because you're
Yeah.
setting everything up. You're not making any money at all
Yeah.
because by the
Yeah.
time commissions, but really it takes a full year before you
Yeah.
start to get your legs under you. Um,
Yeah.
when do you
Absolutely.
feel like, you know, you were fortunate because once your non-compete and stuff was over, then you could kind of come back
Hmm.
and some clients and
Yeah.
things like that, but you were also growing organically.
Yeah.
Um, when you look back over the last 7 years,
Yeah.
when do you feel like, I usually tell our new members, you know, it's a 3 to 5 year period before
Hmm.
you really start to feel that your renewal base is solid.
Hmm.
Like you feel
Yeah.
like you got your feet under you fully. What was your
I
experience
would
part of
say, I
yours?
would say like for me going in, because I wanted to join you guys right away. As soon as I signed the contract with you, I want to join with you guys. But it's just that my district manager, she didn't want to let me go. So she dragged it on all the way. Like I officially, become part of Tag and got appointed with some carriers on September.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was,
Takes a while
and
sometimes.
yeah, it does. It did for me. But I think for me, honestly, I think the first year was pretty hell. It was pretty bad. It was bad. I had no
Yeah,
idea. I thought I was experienced, but you know what? It doesn't matter. And I'm pretty computers. I like to think I'm pretty computer savvy.
you
I
are.
know the codes, but still, it takes time. It just takes time. I honestly, and I remember speaking to you a couple of times during my first year, and you were telling me, yeah, Willie, this is very hard. It is, and this is coming from someone that have experience, in the PNC in selling and producing. But it is hard, and I think the hard part is to go back to what Mike told me. He's like, got some money saved up. That's because you have to get that. That's I mean, you can't get around it. You
Right.
know, that's just part of it. And I think honestly, I think it took me by year two, like a full like 2 years that I could see some stability. I could see there is light at the end of the tunnel. I could see this working out.
Yeah.
But at least, for me, perhaps maybe I'm a slow learner. I mean, it took me 2 years to to sort of be stable. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. No, I think you're 100% right. In fact, I mean, even just this morning, we had a prospect,
Hmm.
you know, come in
Yeah.
to inquiry, and it was somebody with, you know, 1 year PNC licensing. And, you know,
Yeah.
I said, well, you know, we usually want at least 3 years because even if you're coming in with a book of business and experience, it's very
Yeah.
challenging. So you just hit it
It
right on
is.
the head.
It really
It
is.
is.
Yeah.
Um,
It is. And I think the difference, like for the captive side, they help you out because they know how hard it is. So they give you like subsidy so you can sort of live off, or some kind of compensation program. Because let's in our business, it's like the first year, the business, you're right, you don't really make money, right?
right,
Because that, let's say you got an auto policy today, somehow you have to put in some kind of marketing to get the auto policy. So the
right.
first year, like the policy that you wrote the very first year, you consider break even. If they renew with you, then yeah, then you start to see some profit. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But so I think the difference is, but I think for me it was very fortunate too. You guys were willing to work with me too. With yeah, I think just really help me out as much as you guys can, and it makes a difference. Totally.
You know, when you look at some of the things that you've done over the years from like
Yeah.
either marketing or
Yeah.
whatever that may have helped you kind of growing the
Yeah,
business, what have
yeah.
you found to be maybe a couple of things that have been the best for you?
For me, it's always been just sending out direct mailers. That has always just been a bread and butter for me. Um, that's my strength. That's what I've been doing. And there is referrals here and there, but primarily it's just sending out mail pieces. Like, so what I do is I would, target an area. Let's say if I want to concentrate, let's say if I know, for example, Kemper or Safeco have good rates in Anaheim, then I would concentrate that zip code, and then I would send out direct mail pieces. And just like, hey, when your policy is up for renewal, give us a call. And that's primarily been my 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 main source of marketing. Obviously, I do have referrals. I do work with some realtors and escrow people, but they don't hold enough bulk to sustain. Do you know what I mean? And I do work with some of my former farmer colleagues.
Yeah.
Yeah, the business that they can't write, they always send it my way, and I compensate them. But majority is just my own direct mail marketing pieces.
So have you found with the direct mail that it's about
Mhm.
consistently marketing
Oh
to
yeah,
this?
it's like everything else. It's just a numbers game.
Yeah.
Like the more you send out, the more people is going to call you, and the more people is going to call you, the more quotes you're going to do, and the more quotes you're going to do, the more policies you're going to write. It's just that simple. You know,
It is just that simple as far as activity. I mean, that's
it is.
yeah,
I know people that spend a ton of money on marketing, whether it's social media, whether it's just events, or just hire telemarketers. Yeah, you have to spend the money. But then for me, I do want to see the return.
now like when
Yeah.
you're marketing out for kind of I'm assuming that when you're doing the direct mail marketing, it's more
Yeah.
homeowner based. It's homeowner based,
Yeah,
right?
it's all homeowner based, and yeah, it's all homeowner based, and I go by the X date, meaning the data that I pull will tell me. So let's just say if I'm interested in marketing in Anaheim, I would say I'll pull up a few zip codes, and I'll say in these zip codes, the houses that are sold in the month of, let's say, April or May, I'll pull the data from there because that's accurate, right? I'm not going to pull the whole year because there's no point, because some people, they're not going to buy, you only buy insurance when you buy a house.
Right.
So I pull the date that they bought, let's say in the month of May. Okay, so I'll pull the data from that month, and then I send them the mail pieces. And there's no point for me to pull the data for October. I mean, that's so far away.
Right.
you know,
Right.
they're
So,
not even gonna to bother. Yeah,
so the timing obviously of the marketing
it's
is
crucial. It's
critical.
very it's very important.
Now, are you
So
trying to, like, if you get somebody who's interested, are you trying to do a cross sell, or are you trying to
oh yeah,
work?
I always do. But you know what? Like people, I don't want to seem too pushy too. So they
Yeah.
call me and I present it. I go, hey, you know what? If you want, I mean, let us try to help you save on your auto. Give us a shot. But yeah, I'm not. I don't want. It's just not within me to like be pushy. I'll
Yeah.
present it, and let's say if you give me your info, and then I was able to work on your home, and then somehow, some carriers, they're able to pull up the data for your auto, and if I do see it, I'll work on it and I'll email it. But if I don't have it, then I'll ask you, like, hey, if it's up for renewal, or if you want, give us the info, we'll run a quote for you. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and yeah,
You
I
know,
think this business. You just have to be patient.
yep. Yeah. It's a grind. I
You have
mean,
to work hard. without a doubt. But then at the same time, you have to be patient. I remember after the first year, I mean, it was brutal, right? And when I joined the group, it was tough because I got to wait for my non-compete to finish. And then, it just, money's scarce for marketing, so everything. But the funniest thing is just you have to have patience. And I remember after a year gone by, in one afternoon, I got a call from this client of mine. This guy has so many properties. Okay, when I was at Farmers, he left because Farmers was just too expensive. He left. But when I became independent, I did call him. I go, yeah, hey, Mr. Yu, I'm an independent broker now, so we're able to get rates from carriers. So, hey, if you can, let me try to quote for you. He go, yeah, sure. Well, send me the quotes, and I did send him quotes, and nothing happened. Sure enough, a year later, he calls me, just go, hey, you know what? I like you. Let me go with you. It's like all of a sudden, that one afternoon, I wrote like 15 policies. It's like, well, that's pretty cool.
The other thing that's interesting too is that I think that more and more people, little by little, and this is a general statement, do want more self-service capability, right?
They do.
Yeah, so those
portals. And it's not every carrier. Some they spend more money developing interface to do more capabilities, and some don't. But the ones that do, it pays off. It really does. Like people really, I see it. Like they really like to look. They don't like the initial start. What? You want me to go online, set up what? People don't like it. But once you get them to do it, oh, they love it. They that's it, and they'll stay with a carrier even more. But there are some carriers that does not have capability of some of the carriers. Not all carriers are created equal, right? Some have better web interfaces than other. So
yeah, it's true. Yeah. When you think about being 7 years into this now, the beautiful about this is we get to paint the painting we want.
Totally.
Some people may want a big office with all kinds of producers. Some people want to be an owner operator, maybe 1-2 people, build a book, have more of a downscale. Great life, great business. Just it's open field, if you will. So when you think about ITC in the years ahead, what do you envision?
I just want to keep my momentum, keep my current tempo, and spend time with my son. He's 13. So I figure when he goes off to college, maybe that's when I'll do something different, try to, because eventually, things, we have to change, we have to evolve. And I do see that. Past couple of years made me realize that time is more valuable than money. It really is. It really is. I mean, don't get me wrong, money's great. We all could use some more. But time. I mean, I thought about it. Like, if I don't spend as much time as with him as I can, then when he goes off to college, then I don't have any more time to spend with him. Do you know what I mean? But then if he goes off to college, if I want to grow the agency, if I want to do this or do that, then I could still do that. Do you know what I mean? But I think, valuable time, and you know what? I think this is the greatest part about being in this business. You literally don't need a college degree, and you can make as much, if not more, than a doctor. It's all up to you, right? It's how driven do you want to be, and what capability you want to unleash. And I was ready for that. I think I did that when I was at Farmers, and I think I'll do it again. But I think for the time being, you guys are not giving me a hard time in selling life policies. So it's the way you look at things. I'm a firm believer. It's not what happens to you, is how you deal with it. I'm a firm believer of that. So.
And modeling that for our kids, right? Modeling that for our kids. I think that's one of the cool things too. I mean, you know, I've got, just like you, I'm busy all day. There's meetings,
Yeah.
you know, lots of go to meetings, lots of stuff. And so the kids, you know, sometimes my wife or my son or my daughter will bring me a little plate of food, you know, like put it
Nice.
on my
Yeah.
little desk right here
That's nice. Yeah.
for lunchtime or whatever. And but you know, they're getting to see the work, right?
Yeah.
Because before this, they don't see me, like I'm
Yeah.
at the office, you know, and
Yeah.
so they don't, insurance is abstract. Like what is insurance, you know, to them? They don't, I've tried to explain it, but they're like,
And,
okay.
and you know what? To be honest with you, Tony, I have no idea. Like when I joined the group, just how much you guys, okay, work for the agents. Seriously, you guys pile on so many info, so many support. And I'll be honest, sometimes I forgot to even look at them
You're like,
because
come
you
on.
know no, because but that's the cool part. You know, like the info that you guys give, the support, the help. You know, it's tremendous. And
Yeah, and you have to pursue the thing that, as much as you can, you have to pursue the thing that makes you satisfied at a deep level and that
yeah,
you're good at,
yeah,
right? That you have skill sets for.
yeah,
Because I think
yeah,
naturally, as you work hard in areas where you're strong and you feel a passion and you feel you know, the drive and the motivation, that really does
yeah,
give you a sense of good feeling, which, to your point,
yeah.
creates
It's
happiness, right?
important.
And
Yeah,
if you're doing 90% of your day sucks, I mean, a lot of our days stink. Yeah,
yeah,
service work, you got to do
yeah,
this, you know,
yeah,
clients have stat, whatever.
yeah,
But if the majority of the time the work we get to do is stuff that we enjoy, helping people, you know, taking care of their
mhm,
needs, all those types of things, the satisfaction you get from a thank you, whatever it may be, like, I think that's such a huge blessing, you know, and ultimately, insurance, if you put in the work and you enjoy helping people, you know, over the long term, it is
very rewarding.
phenomenal
Yeah,
industry from that
yeah.
perspective, you know. So
I can't agree with you more. And then I'll say this too. Like, if things don't work out for me in insurance, it's definitely not because of the group. It's 100% me. I'll say that. Like, if I was a captive, no, I'm serious. If things don't work
ownership,
out, it could be me. It could be the captive carrier. You know, there's so much politics. You have to know what you're doing. If they don't like you, if they weren't getting rid of you, you're gone. It's just that simple. You know, but with this, I like, if I don't make it, it's not because of anything. It's just me. I wouldn't, you know, not because you guys weren't there, none of that. Being a captive and being an independent, like, you're playing for two different type of teams, right? The captive side, you're playing for a very demanding team, a very demanding coach. You know, it's like, hey, you don't do well, score well, we're gonna cut you from the team, right? And as a player, how are you supposed to feel good, right? And I think being independent, it's like, it's a very supportive team. You know, it's like, hey, do your best, you know, and you know, there's no threats, there's no animosities between players,
yeah.
you know, and it's freaking awesome. Like, look at like the Wednesday, the 9:30, like look at how much info it's getting shared among agents. I just want to make sure like anybody that joined the group or starting, they, as long as they put in the work, there is going to be reward, you know, and the light of, you know, it's going to be at the end of the tunnel. It's just that you got to keep the faith. I like what I remember one time when we had the meeting, Steve said, hey, you know, when things gets tough, you know, say a little prayer, you
Yeah.
know, and yeah, those things, it does help. I mean, I did it. Seriously, like there are times like, oh yeah, you know, things are tough, you know,
Yeah.
say my grace, you know, but
Well, we just
yeah, I'm
trying.
very thankful to be part of the group, thankful for every member in the group that I've talked to. Everybody's just very helpful, you know, and then the carrier rep, they're great. So I have really no complaints. And I think this is uh, one of the best decisions I ever made for my career. And that's speaking from right here, you know. So
Dude, I appreciate
thanks.
that, you
Yeah,
know.
thanks for always backing me up. And yeah, you know,
Well,
that's
like we
it.
started in the beginning of gratitude,
Yeah,
we're finishing at the end with gratitude, which is, I think,
yeah,
is a two good bookends. And dude,
Yeah.
I
Thanks to you
totally
guys, and thanks to all the, you know, the older members that paved the way for us, right? For our group to be the size that it is today. You know, it's phenomenal. And I feel like joining, I feel like I'm just reaping the benefits. Do you know what I mean?
But dude,
You know, so
you're an important part of that. I mean, that's the beauty
no,
of the group. You know, when you look at the growth of the group over the last, 15 years and really, really in the last 10 years, members like you and others, you're starting to catch your stride and things are awesome. And, again, it's a grind, but, everybody's
it
grinding higher
is. It
together,
is. I think realistically, you know, new members, they just have to give themselves like, you have to give yourself like a 2-year period. 2 year of like, man, trying to figure it out, and try to see some stability. But I think after 2 years, you will see the waters are calm. Do you know what I mean? And you could find your direction, and it's great.
That's awesome.
So,
That's awesome.
thanks for having me, and
Well, I appreciate
love being
it,
part of the group.
That's awesome. Well, dude, it's been a good chat, man. Like I said, I
Right
appreciate you,
on.
appreciate everything, and I'm gonna kill the record button here.
Cool.